hand. That's a tablet in your hand. And everybody else had like an iPhone. So I love the big screens. I like the big screens. So as the Pixel, it was really down to the Pixel XL. I had, because there's no expandable storage, I just had to get the 128 gigabytes, which ends up being the same price as the Note 7 64 gigabytes. And then I also have the 256 micro SD card that was given as kind of a bonus to the Note 7. So it was either the Google Pixel XL or the LG V20, which has the dual camera, which kind of is similar to what the iPhone 7 is offering. And it's a unique feature. It has a replaceable battery. It has the support for an external micro SD card, which I could have used the one that's in my Note 7, which is really nice. It has the quick charging from Qualcomm and all that. All those things, all those similarities to Note 7, and also kind of similarities to what I liked about the Note 4 were in the LG V20. And then the camera was unique as well because it had the wide. This is the misconception that I think a lot of people have, is that the LG V20, it has a wide angle camera, and then it has a kind of a standard angle camera, as opposed to what the iPhone 7 is offering, which is a standard view camera and a telephoto view camera, which I think telephoto is a much better proposition than having a wide angle camera. Even though in cinematography, it is a premium to have as wide of angle as possible, and obviously you introduce distortion. As you can see, this is being recorded on a GoPro Hero session, a GoPro Hero 5 session. So you still, even though it's in the narrow field of view, you're still getting kind of distortions. So the LG V20 wide angle has this kind of GoPro feel to it in terms of look, which, I have a GoPro, so I don't really need that in my phone to give me a unique look on certain angles and stuff. I would rather have the telephoto lens, like the iPhone 7. So speaking of the iPhone 7, you might ask, why was the iPhone 7 not part of my options? Other than the fact that obviously it's iOS and it's not Android, and I've been Android ever since. I've never owned an iPhone, and I don't say that in being like scoffing at Apple and the iPhone. I think the iPhone's great. I've always wanted an iPhone to a certain extent. What I've always done is I've always gone the route of owning an iPad or an iPod. So to have that, to be able to experience the iOS experience without making it my main daily driver. And the iPhone 7 looks great, and even with all this issues with the Galaxy Note 7, I appreciate what Apple is able to do in controlling and integrating their hardware and software, keeping it all in-house, whereas Android is kind of a mixed bag of both software and hardware. You would say, like, why wouldn't you want your cake and eat it too? Why wouldn't you want all the customizable, like the variety of choice of hardware and the variety of choice of software in all the skins? Just like I mentioned, I use Nova Launcher as opposed to the regular Google Android skin or TouchWiz, which I never, on a Samsung phone, on all the Note phones that I have, I never used it. I think early on the Note 2 I did use TouchWiz, but I dropped it right away for Nova Launcher. I think between the Note 2 and the Note 3 I experimented with a lot, and Nova Launcher just ended up being the better of everything else. So I ended up using that for so many years. So the biggest reason I just couldn't bring myself to use an iPhone 7 is just the UI. The iOS UI is just so restrictive and so uncustomizable. There's no ability to just the fact that it lines up all the icons for you, and you can rearrange them, but you can't throw them on different pages. You can't make gaps or spaces in between the icons. It just lines them up, and then that's just the way it is. I just can't stand that. I can't stand that. I come from Windows. I've used plenty of Mac OS. Like that experience allows you to just at least, even on Mac OS, you can rearrange things and customize things. It's not that restrictive. So I just don't understand why iOS is so locked down. It's not even locked down. It's just like, why is it so set in one way to do things? And I get it. Like there are some people who just rather have those things taken care of, and there's certain things I prefer that way. I prefer a manufacturer to take care of things for me. Like when I go to a restaurant, I actually prefer going to a restaurant with a set menu, like a set course that the chef has created based on his expertise of taste, rather than going to like a burger place or like Counter Burger or whatever, where I have all these choices to customize a burger. And yet, while it's not like I'm incapable of that. Most of the time when I go to a restaurant, I go there for their expertise, the chef's expertise, and being able to assemble a taste profile that is unique and very much what I'm going to that restaurant for. So, I get like iOS, like why iOS is popular in that sense, but I just don't get that there's not even the option to like an advanced mode or something like that, to where you can customize it more. Okay, so I think I spent the whole first 20 minutes on babbling about my situation, but it's so I went with the Google Pixel XL, and it looks like my GoPro is running out of battery, so I'm gonna have to either way break this up into segments. Google Pixel XL became my choice because the LG V20 just didn't have enough unique things about it, and if anything, it had too many things that were reminiscent of, or like kind of old-fashioned in my sense. It didn't feel like I was moving forward. It felt like I was moving back, despite it having good reviews and being touted as a great phone, great alternative, and very underrated phone. So the Pixel XL kind of represented, in many ways, kind of this irony of the design being very much similar to what an iPhone, everything I hate about an iPhone, how plain and boring it is. The Google Pixel XL, like the design is very much that. And you'll hear that all over the place. So I don't want to go on to too many things about like too many specs and review aspects about the Pixel XL that you will hear everywhere else. For the most part, I'm here to just talk about my experience and my preferences with the phone without repeating too much. But I am going to end up repeating a lot where other reviews and whatnot will go. So let me pause the video here, and I will be back.